بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وآله وصحبه ومن والاه. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. May Allah reward you the best for devoting this time to discuss and understand very important subject and matters of nowadays. We are going to go again through the Hadith of Jibril alayhi salam, and with new dimensions, new views, new understanding, and new implications and applications. The proper name of the hadith is to be called Hadith al-Tatawul, the hadith that explaining the impertinence, the claim of a human being something doesn't qualify nor deserve with certain circumstances. So when we start, the starting point is that the human nature is duality, means the human nature is two parts married together, paired, the soul and the body. This is how we know it. This is the fact. This is who is the human being, how it was designed and meant to be that way. Two elements, but they are married. They are not separated. And separation of these two lead to many consequences. Finally is the death if you separate them. And from that point of view, the hadith basically explaining the journey of human being on earth since he landed on this planet, in his way to basically nurture and fulfill the necessities, the needs of these two elements on him. Means how, that is a prophecy given us ahead of time, how a human being is going to pursue fulfilling the necessities and the needs of the body and the necessities and the need of the soul. And that's why the hadith is two halves and not four quarters. One half explaining to us how this human being is going to pursue fulfilling and nourishing the necessities and the needs of the physical part, which is the body. And the first half of the hadith explaining in detail precisely how should human being pursue fulfilling the necessity and the need of the soul. So the necessities and the needs of the soul already determined, which are the Islam, Iman, and Ihsan, with all their details. These are the necessities of the soul. Means necessity, it got to be fulfilled. There is no way you can survive, you can continue living normally if any of this necessity is not being fulfilled. The other parts of the hadith explaining also how and what are the necessities and the needs of the body. Now, we know very well that the necessities and the needs of the soul are limited in quantity. It's only Iman, Islam, and Ihsan. There is no room to add or to extrapolate. Quantity is very limited, well known, well defined, and it has to be staying that way. but quality of it, there is no limit to it. To know Allah, there is no limit to it. To understand Quran and implement it and apply it, there is no limit to it. To explore the names and attributes and actions of Allah in His creations, there is no limit to it. So the quantity is limited. The quality is unlimited. You can forever go and basically grow in knowing and understanding and implementing those necessities and the need of the soul. When we go to the other part, which is the physical body, also the needs and the necessities are limited in quantity, but they are unlimited in qualities. Limited in quantity, the need of any person, certain amount of food, certain amount of clothes, a certain place to shelter, certain amount of peace, security. These are very limited. You can only live in one place at the time. You can only wear certain small amount of clothes. You can only eat a certain amount of food. You can only secure the security and peace in very limited way. And so, but the quality is unlimited. There are many kind of clothes, and they are growing in kind and style. Food, same thing. Companies, TV shows, experts in cooking, and all related to food that you cannot imagine how it is. It is unlimited, really. And houses, and also means to secure yourself and your life, and also to live in peace. So again, the hadith explaining how human being is going to pursue fulfilling the necessities and the need of the soul, and it is determined, and quantity is limited, quality is unlimited. And also how to pursue fulfilling the necessities and the need of the body, and quantity is limited, quality is unlimited. That is the foundations of understanding this hadith. And when there is imbalance between these two or within themselves, then that is what leads to tatawul. Claim that you have the right to modify, to claim something, or to transgress against other creation's right, and you think that is you have the right to do so. So we're going to start the journey of human being in fulfilling the physical need and necessities. In the beginning, human being landed on earth basically barefoot, has no clothes, and start acquiring three things. Number one, knowledge. Number two, skills. Number three, abilities. These are called ask. Once start acquiring these three elements, then he was able to basically move to the second phase from being a Bedouin, barefoot, barely has clothes, into a shepherd and a farmer, where resources becoming way better, and clothes secure, and food is secure, and only because of the growth of knowledge, skills, and ability. And also, it is no limited how much you can gain those three elements, and we call them ask: ability, skills, and knowledge. So the more human being, this is their nature, like acquiring more of these three elements, and that produce the style of life to move from farming and being shepherd into a industrial phase where you can build, manipulate materials from iron to cement to rocks. You have more knowledge, more abilities, more skills to basically extract resources from the nature, from where Allah has deposited, and build a new phase of your life. Again, you are seeking to fulfill the needs and the necessities of the body. So you have moved into the industrial phase. And then also, as we said, never stops acquiring, developing, advancing the knowledge, the skills, the ability, was able, human being, to move from industrial to technology and advancement in communication and connection as we see it today. So this is how the hadith explained al-hufat, al-urat, رعاء الشاة يتطاولون في البنيان. Now, the يتطاولون basically transgress into the rights of others, and mainly the rights of the Creator, the rights of the Sustainer, the right of the only one deserved to be worshipped. Human being, once they got that level of knowledge and skills and ability, believed they have their right to worship anything they want, anyone they want. And if they want to worship the Creator, fine. But if they don't want, they have their right, and that is what is the tawul, to worship anything, whether idol or desires or hawa or anything like that. And that is why the human being at the first phase, where they were just Bedouin, they were basically like the Amma, owned and dependent fully on the Creator and the what is given to them in the nature. That is the Amma. That is the metaphor of the conditions of human being at the first stage living on earth. And then that Amma has basically gained power by knowledge, means ummah. Amma means the ummah, human being. So this hadith is not speaking about geographical place, about ethnic group, about culture, about high-rise building. Absolutely not. It's talking about how the elevation of the needs and necessity fulfillment been changed through time, and how a human being acquiring the means and the resources to fulfill this necessities and this need. Now, in the time where the fulfillment of the soul becoming weak, and human being basically decided intentionally to carry only the minimum. And this is what all the books of fiqh and all this is. How can I get this? What kind of fatwa? What is this? What is that? All of it, it is aimed instead of basically extrapolating and expanding the qualities of fulfilling the necessities and the needs of the soul by choice and by the effect of the other part, which is the fulfillment of the physical needs and necessities, has chosen, whether Muslims and non-Muslim, the minimum amount of means to fulfill the necessities and the needs of the soul. Some of even they eliminated totally. Some they basically give their due worship, gratitude, thankfulness to the wrong entity, to the wrong one, not to the right one, which is God, which is the creator, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, on the other hand, they have chosen to go in fulfilling the necessities and the need of the body, basically unlimitedly. And how they have done that? Something was inserted by this advancement into their life from A to Z, into their mind, into their belief, into their education, into their culture, traditions, behaviors, which is called desires. Been introduced and accepted, and human being went far away to fulfill the desires instead of the needs and the necessities of the body. So today, human being is not looking to get enough food or enough clothes or enough shelter. Majority, no. They are after fulfilling desires, and the desires are unlimited. And every day, new desires being created. Oh, this is old cell phone, this is old car, this is old TV, this is old. So new desires being created and basically injected into the mind and the life of human being, and human being become a chaser, is going to basically after these things which will never end, and honestly it lead to negative consequences. That negative consequences we see it today in whole society. They are not anymore finding fulfillment in social interaction, direct social interaction, but they find basically numbing fulfillment in virtual interaction. And that's why this new media's means and means of communication and all these applications and apps, it is numbing fulfillment, but it leads to consequences. The consequences really that the fulfillment is not there. So human is still craving, in need for real fulfillment, can't find it in real socialization, in real interaction with other creations. So they go after other substitute like pets, like drugs, like sports, like music, like all of these are substitute, because the desires, as we say, has no limit to it, and it does not fulfill. The more you follow desires, the more you feel you are empty. So you go more and more, just like somebody thirsty and keep drinking salt water and keep in never crash the thirst of and also food, eating junk food and all of these things. Now, so this is what the hadith is saying here. What is going to happen in the later time, where this human being become knowledgeable, skillful, and has more ability, he will go after basically defining the priorities instead of the haja. Haja means need, and need to be fulfilled according to its, no more. Any fulfillment that is beyond the need, it's harmful. Say you eat more, it's gonna hurt you. You spend more, it's gonna hurt you. You drink more, it's gonna hurt you. So need and necessity, it was meant to be fulfilled exactly the way it is needed. No more, no less. More is harmful, less is harmful. Once we replace those and brought into the equation something called desires, then desires basically it's only for the physical body, and resources too many here for fulfillment of these desires. And we see human being basically chasing the mirage. It's chasing happiness, fulfillment, chasing something really that is going to um, fulfill the basic need of emotional and social, intellectual, spiritual. You don't find it, any of these. And on the other hand, as we said, basically human, whether they have faith or not, they are Muslims or not, they basically decided to basically carry the minimum things. Salah, how can I do it quick? How many permission I can run away with, and how I can do it just minimum, my time and qualities and all of this. And also Salah, Siyam, Zakah, Hajj, Zakah, same thing. Or knowing Allah, knowing the Quran, all of these basically, Quran is not anymore. We know it very well. And especially those who speak Arabic. I know the Quran. I understand the Arabic language, and I know it. And that is a lie. That is an illusion. That is what we call tatawul. Means you pertain that you know. You claim you know. You claim you are free. You claim you can do it to anyone you want. And it is illusion, and it is not true. وما الحياة الدنيا إلا متاع الغرور إن يتبعون إلا الظن وما تهوى الأنفس. They follow only assumption, presumption, and what is the desires of their nafs. And this is exactly what is happening. So the key point of this, that we need to think about it clearly to understand what is wrong, and to think where we start to rectify the matters, which is, as the hadith said, if we leave it that way, taking only the minimum to fulfill the necessities and the needs of the soul, and go to extreme in fulfilling the desires, not the need and necessity of the body. It is a lie. You can eat only half a pound of meal and it is over. So we are not really fulfilling the needs and necessity of the body. We are chasing basically the desires to fulfill them. And so we see it is tilted, and that's going to lead, if you let it that way, is going to lead to slavery. Slavery means the desires will become God. اتخذ إلهه هواه. Desires will become true God, the first priority, dictating on human their values, their faith and belief, their behaviors, their interactions, their relationship, their transactions. It will be dictated by the desires. And as you know, people say nowadays, is not even logic. Say, I want to be that way. Leave me alone. I want to be transgenders. I want to be woman. I want to be man. Leave me alone. It is only I want. Logic or any basic foundation of argument, it doesn't exist. Leave me alone. Don't interfere with my desires. I want this. Let me fulfill it and let me go after it. I want to dress this way. Let me do it. I want to drink this way. I want to behave this way. Let me do it. And that is where really becoming the desires becoming, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, become true God worship. And the true God, the true creator, the only one deserves our gratitude being neglected. And if some of us will do something, it is the minimum. And you get away with it. This is what we understand from Hadith al-Tatawul. Now, when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, يَتَطَاوَلُونَ فِي الْبُنْيَانِ, it doesn't mean the bunyan is the cause of tatawul. It means at the time of the bunyan everywhere, the human being will basically claim things that it doesn't belong to him. When the bunyan is spreading throughout the globe in every corner of earth and going basically extreme about it in all ways and means, that is the time where human being is going to claim rights to do things that are not belonging to him. As we also see in history, Ad, or Thamud, or Fir'aun, these are exactly, they did the same thing. They have built a real good life and real civilization, real advance, and traveled the globe, dominated the earth, dominated other human beings. But once they have reached to that point, from knowledge and skills and ability, basically Allah said their desires basically become their God, and they transgressed on the right of the Creator, transgressed on the right of other creations, transgress even on the right of themselves and their souls. And طغوا في البلاد فأكثروا فيها الفساد. The second one is desires is going to lead only to more immorality and corruption. Nothing else. Desires supposedly from the Islamic point of view, from religious point of view, from faith point of view, is to be restrained, not to be let, not just to be let alone and free, free reign, no, to be multiplied, to be enforced, to be enhanced, to be glamorized, to create more and to add to more. This is what's the true God. And you, tahwa al-anfus, that is what the true God. So, to have this, we have to appreciate, first of all, the hadith. Second, we have to realize it is two halves. As human being is two parts. Part is of the soul, the other part of the body. The brain and the mind and the thinking and intellectual only tools for gaining knowledge, skills, and abilities. You can take it this way or that way. It doesn't have no campus in it. Campus is the basically Islam, Iman, Ihsan, or revelation, or the faith and belief. That is where the campus comes. The brain cannot judge right or wrong. It is a tool and means, as we said, to pursue those three things. Those three things will lead human being to transfer his style from one phase to another phase, and it will go basically into the desires, because there are enablers, which is the technology, the advancement, the communication, the transportation. All this means enablers for human to pursue their desires more and more and more. And they can be enablers to pursue the other need and necessities of the soul, but people basically don't use it that way. So, with that in mind, I hope that it is clear to us this prescription of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Jibril to the conditions and the path of human being, and where human being will ignore and neglect the signs of the road, the signs of the hours. Signs of the road are there to be paid attention to listen to follow, to obey. Some of them, instruction says stop sign means stop. That is instructions, that is order, that is command. That is if you don't listen and obey, you cause destruction. There is no doubt about it. And this is saying turn right, turn left, or merge, or exit, or it is painted on the road. All the signs of the road that leading to the hours meant to be followed precisely, literally, and paid attention to. Today we see those signs, as we said. This major sign is the desire has become the first priority, has become the faith and the belief, the habit, the traditions, the law of the land is the desires. And that is a sign, dangerous one, that is, with no doubt about it, is going to cause harm for selves and for others, and also weaken the other part, which is the soul of human being. So, what shall we do? We shall go and try to bring balance, and the balance basically can be defined by two words. Number one, whatever you do in your life or you say, it is either purposeful or it is enjoyment. Everything what you are doing, either purposeful or enjoyment. Very difficult for many to bring a balance between purposeful and enjoyment. Let's say you're scrolling TikTok. That is basically purposeless in many cases, and it is just enjoyment into nothing, really. Follow movies, follow whatever you follow. Or purposeful. I read, I travel, I communicate, I connect, I study, I research, I keep a strong relationship with my families, relatives, neighborhood, and all of this. These are purposeful, and it is at the same time enjoyable. And so you have basically to sit down and write every day or every week, every month. That's what you have done. These were enjoyments purposeless. I need to throw them away. These were purposeful and enjoyments. I need to keep it up. Wallahu a'lam. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك جزاكم الله خير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.